We spent a season over at Duke practicing and playing our home games over there. And I think the character of the team started to form during that time. You know, it was an extra hour and a half out of their day where we'd have to bus over and bus back. But they just, it was like, bring it on. Well, you know, whatever you want, coach, just tell us what to do.
A drag flick, excellent goal by Ashley Hussman.
And I think that was the beginning of this 2018 team.
We practiced every single day at Duke, and we really just started to get close together. I don't think there was any expectations in the 2017 season, just because we weren't at home, we didn't have a home, we had one senior.
Molinar's up for UNC against Klein. Jabbed away by Klein, second save. Molinar's misses, and the Connecticut Huskies are headed to the national championship game.
Oh, it gets so old when you're constantly the runner-up. I don't even like to keep those trophies. To lose the first 3 years that I was here, and I think we had every potential to win, is so heartbreaking. But I think in 2018 we took that and had a chip on our shoulder.
In my class, we heard a lot about the 8 years of almost and making it that far so many times and just never finishing. And I think it wasn't really at the forefront of our minds, but I know the other girls definitely, they felt that so many times and they didn't want to feel it again. And we obviously don't want to feel it ever if we don't have to.
And we knew right then and there that we were just going to keep building from where we left off. Whereas in other years, it was kind of a scramble to figure out who was going to be the leaders or what everyone's role was going to be. But we were the same team.
We weren't sorry for ourselves. We weren't, oh, this is a curse, which some people say, but we went out and we kind of wrote our own story. And we're not losing another game. We made a pact that we're not going to lose another game. On the day after we lost to UConn, I think our mindset was exactly that. This is the start of 2018.
The second we all came back on campus after Christmas break, we were like, this is going to be our year.
Iowa was not the #1 team we thought was going to give us a lot of trouble, and here we were in overtime, and we had to work super hard to win that game.
The Hawkeyes, and there's a big save the other side. The Hawkeyes in the circle.
And I think it was a huge wake-up call for our team that we went to overtime. Well, we had to come from behind. We had to pull our keeper. You know, these are things that we practiced, but we didn't expect to use. So to come from behind, tie it up late in the game, and then go to overtime where they had a one-on-one with the keeper. You know, so literally, if they had executed that, we would have had a loss.
We went into overtime, and even in overtime, I was like, we're not losing. We're not losing this game.
One more pass to get it in the circle. She's there. Griggs taken down. And the whistle called against the Hawkeyes. Leslie Spate with 9 saves on the game. Her 10th would be the biggest to win it right here. And Huffman wins it for North Carolina, 2-1.
And I look back on it, had we lost that game, that was the second game of the season. Our pact would have went right there. It's just bringing up all of those past losses, rubbing them in our face a little bit and being like, who do you want to be?
I think we realized then and there that, you know, none of it's going to come easy. You got to work every game. And I think that one of the things I admired most about this team was their humility. And I think that started with that game.
After we played Duke and won 2-0, I think that was like a really important game because Duke is not just a really good game, it's also super mental because that rivalry is going on. Like, you know the team, we practiced on their field last season, so we were over there all the time. And like a bunch of our teammates are like friends with them and stuff like that. So it's a really, really emotional game on top of being a hard game.
Around mid-season Duke game, people have started counting how many games that we had shutouts. For all of my time here, Coach is a big advocate for the mindset of defense. We need to be tough, we need to be gritty, we need to be connected with each other almost more than anyone else because we're the wall back there. So as a defensive unit, how do we want to be seen? How do we want to be known? At each game that there was shutouts, I think we were gaining a little bit of confidence, a little bit of swagger.
Coach always says defense wins championships, so if you don't let any goals in, you can't lose.
When she says defense wins championships, it's a mindset. It's something that our team embodies in everything we do.
I challenged our defense early on to take each goal that gets scored on you personal. It's easy to get ahead in games and to not care when goals are scored, but this team didn't do it.
Everyone on that field was bought into being a brick wall on defense, and it started with those 3 solid defenders that had been with us and had grown together over the past 2 years. If you're a forward and you're not defending well, she's pulling you out of the game. It's not about scoring goals and the glory for yourself. It's about playing defense with your team, for your team, and really being that brick wall force that no one can get through. Because if they can't score a goal and we can, we win the game.
I don't want to say it was a distraction for me, but it was a stressful day, and I worried about it being a distraction for the kids.
For the first athletic facility, first stadium to be named after a female coach, it's incredible that Coach Shelton is the one that's being honored today. For 38 years of an incredible success as a coach. But what's more impressive is the leadership she has provided to student athletes for generations outside of the game of field hockey.
I hereby dedicate Karen Shelton Stadium.
Today is a celebration of our program and of women's athletics on our campus. This facility is a tribute to our program, but even more than that, it's a powerful reflection of how women are respected and supported here at Carolina.
I remember that we were in the locker room, we talked about it before. We had pre-game speeches before every game, which was really different to the past years. Like, we did that for the first time and it was super helpful. So that person that did the speech that day was like, okay, we're gonna think about Coach for the next half an hour, like honor her, like honor the stadium, and then it's time to like play, like time to focus on the game.
I think the speeches were extra meaningful that game because it was Karen Shelton Stadium, because we had something to play for. And having that purpose behind what you're playing for goes along with who you are. Why are you playing? These questions, bigger questions.
This was just different. It kind of brought some camaraderie about UNC and our coach and some pride in what this facility is and what it means to be part of Carolina field hockey.
Coach is a really humble person. Like when she came into the locker room, she did not say a single thing about the dedication, but like she didn't focus on her at all. She was like, this is a game day. This is not a dedication day. This is our game day. So I think Maite was right for that game. So after the dedication, we like went right on the field and like got ready. And I think it was like an extra motivation. It wasn't like any distraction. It was more like an extra motivation to win on Karen Shelton Field and Karen Shelton Stadium.
We were a little nervous at the beginning because it was a lot before a big game, and obviously you don't want to lose that game after the stadium is just dedicated. But we kind of, once we put our shoes on, took the field, and all of the chairs and everything were taken away, it was game time, and we held each other accountable when it came to, okay, this is warm-up time. No more thinking about dedication, no more thinking about anything but what we have to do.
An ACC win at home, all those really matter. Again, the maturity of this team. They didn't let things rattle. They didn't overanalyze. They didn't assume. They just stayed humble and hardworking and stayed focused. That was critical, especially on that day.
Stepping up is Pitcard. She's going to find Matson. Matson, the shot. Matson, the goal. Carolina with a 4-0 lead.
That dedication gave us a bigger reason. Yes, for the win, for the pact, for each other, for our parents, for our pride, but also for Coach and for her legacy.
After the Boston College game, which was really successful, we put our minds to UConn because obviously that's going to be a rough game. And like we played them 2 years ago in the semifinal and won, and then we played them last year again in the semifinal and lost. So there's a lot of history going on.
We really wanted to win. I think the kids took it personally. I mean, they ended our season the year before in the semifinals at the NCAA tournament. So it was a little bit personal.
Yentl Lehman's forced against the sideline. That was pretty good work there by Connecticut.
We're playing UConn at this point, but we're also playing the clock. And you have to play that game as well. And we were not doing a very good job of it.
They were in attack mode. It's a lot easier to chase a game. And so they were in attack mode. And they did some things that disrupted us. But I think we hung on. And good teams will hang on.
This year, it's 2-1 in favor of North Carolina. The #1 team in the nation rolls on.
I think ACC championship game was really special because we knew about the strengths and the weaknesses of Wake, but going out there on like a Sunday, having like beautiful Carolina weather outside, having all of our fans, all of our supporters in the stands, I think it was a great day. It was like great circumstances. We were like, okay, we have to beat this team again, to win this ACC championship.
Anytime you're in a big tournament, the vibes are completely different. You have family there that you want to spend time with, you're thinking about. There's nerves, younger underclassmen, they're just nervous. I'm nervous. We handled those situations better than any team. And we were not going to lose ACCs on our home field in Karen Shelton Stadium.
You probably saw the goal that Aaron Matson had. It was a corner variation.
Trying to open the scoring today. The pass down low, the turnaround shot and a score. Aaron Matson.
But she scored the goal not in the manner that we practice, but it's just her creativity to get that first corner, score the goal early in the game. It just set the tone. I mean, that was a big time goal, highlight reel. And I think the third goal was a highlight reel kind of goal. And so we just had it going, and I think we started to really develop a home field advantage on this new stadium. The first year we're on it, who knows how we were going to react, but it became a powerful home field for us.
Championship number 21 for Karen Shelton and the North Carolina Tar Heels. They are the best in the Atlantic Coast Conference for 2018.
Coaches always say that this is one of the most important games because that brings you to the Final Four. If you win it, you make it. If you don't, you're out. So since the season was so great until then, but Coach made Coach made sure that we didn't think ahead, and the coach did a great job of making sure that we know all of their strengths, all of their weaknesses, all of their tendencies. So I think we were really well prepared for that game.
It's the toughest game to win because I've always felt that if you, in a program like ours, if you get to the Final Four, you've had a good year. Top 4 in the country, making it to the show. We scored in ways that they tried to prevent us scoring.
Drag flick from Hussman and it goes in!
Ashley Hussman has a great drag flick. They put a defender on the post to try and prevent that from going in, and it went right by this kid. They did it twice. I just credit Ashley and the entire team, the corner unit, and our defense for playing so well.
Coach always says that the game before the Final Four is the hardest game. You can't help but kind of look forward. If we win this, we're going to the Final Four.
We had beat Wake before. We knew who their key players were. We knew what their pressing and defensive tendencies were. And we knew they might throw something crazy at us. But our coaches said, here's our game plan. But more than anything, we're going to focus on ourselves. So we're going to play our best. If we play our best, they won't beat us.
I'm really close with some of the Wake Forest girls, and they were saying they have nothing to lose. They're the underdog in that game. They're going to leave everything they have out on that field. So we knew that that game is not going to be about talent or who's the better squad, who has the better individuals. This is all going to be about hard work. So yeah, we went into that game knowing that they're going to work their butts off. So we were we're going to be the hardest workers on this field.
We scored early, and then that gives you a little bit more freedom. And when you give a team like ours a little bit of freedom to play looser, we're gonna run away with it, and I think that happened in the game. We got a 4-goal lead at the half. That's almost unheard of against a great team. 2 of the goals were scored by Aaron Matson, who made spectacular, far post plays. We hit tap-ins, so we exploited their defense. So I'm proud of our kids, and they were playing with a determination that I hadn't seen before. We had been in Final Fours, and we played with a little more nerves. This year's team, I think, showed a confidence level that I hadn't seen, and they earned it.
A ton of parents were there, a ton of alumni. We had a huge group of alumni that came back, which was awesome for their support. And I mean, the girls were crying because we were so excited.
1, 2, 3,
We all were just together and not even thinking about field hockey that much. And then we just talked and everyone was really relaxed, and I think that night really aided to everybody kind of taking a step back and saying, okay, let's not think about the game for a little while. And it relaxed everyone who was nervous, or, I mean, it hyped me up for the upcoming day.
I've been here for 4 Final Fours. That was my 4th. And in years past, it's been nerves, it's been, what are we gonna change, what are we gonna do, how are we gonna possibly beat this team? It was never a confidence and a poise in ourselves until this year.
I think we earned throughout the course of the year a quiet confidence. And I think that they knew that we had the talent and the depth to win the national championship. It's not that we knew we were going to win or an arrogance of any kind, but I think just a feeling like if we play well, we're going to win.
Going into the game, I knew that we have some unfinished business with them from just past years. So I think a lot of people were super motivated going into the game, and a bunch of our alums came to Louisville, which was great because it was a great group of supporters.
But it was for us having that confidence to go into a national championship game and not have the fear of failure. And I didn't feel it either. And I think in past games, I just wanted to win so badly. You can want to win too much. And I think that we just, in this particular year, we had a team that loved to execute. They loved to play. They enjoyed the game. They had fun with the game. And it just led to a level of confidence in us all that not that we were going to win it, not that we knew that we were better and that it was going to happen for us, that they got out and they earned it.
We were loving it. We were having fun. You think you're in the Final Four, you're gonna have fun. Isn't this whole thing fun? But sometimes it's just anxiety. But not with this team. It was so much fun. We were hyped to play Maryland. We were like, this is the game we've been waiting for all season. I think the best teams, the best athletes want to play the best opponent because it brings out the best in them. We wanted to prove not only that this curse doesn't mean anything, but that we can beat the other best team in the country.
Here's Madsen, working with shoulder, sliding it ahead! 1-0 Tar Heels, different one's 9th of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the goal. I got it from the defender, and there was no one in front of me, so I just went for it. And I try to not think too much when I play, because then I second-guess myself and everything. But yeah, I just kept it simple, and I heard it hit the backboard, and I turned around immediately, because I love celebrating. Someone hug me! Who's gonna hug me? And that made it 2-0, so it's obviously it's a big goal.
The second half, they played amazing. Honestly, they probably had more possession than us, but we didn't let them score. We capitalized on the opportunities that we got, and got 2-0 up, and they had some really good opportunities, but we squashed them. So as a defense, I was so proud of my team. And like I said, it was forwards, mids, defenders. It wasn't just the defense line, and that's where the magic happens. It's when the whole team is playing a unit defense, and it's very hard to penetrate. So the last minute or so, I was like, is this happening? I couldn't help but think, this is happening. It didn't feel real almost.
You could see on the screen the numbers going down, and I just remember looking around and no one was looking at me. And I was like, who am I gonna celebrate to? Who am I gonna run to? And I wasn't even thinking about the ball. I actually didn't even know where it was. When we watched the video afterwards, I realized that Malene had it.
So the last few seconds of the game, I actually had the ball. Coach was like, if you get the ball, just go into the corner and dribble, take some time off the clock. And I had the ball, and I just heard people screaming at me, counting down, and I was like, oh God, I can't, I don't even know what to do, because I just wanted to protect the ball.
I get chills thinking about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because the ball wasn't even near me.
I was like, what do? I just started jumping. I started like, I was gonna throw my stick down, and I was like, no, Erin, you can't do that. But as soon as the clock counted down to 0 and the horn went off, I just ran to whoever was closest to me. I don't even remember who it was.
North Carolina, your national champions in Division I field hockey.
We all just were hugging. I was crying. I mean, the team knows I cry a lot at little things.
When the final buzzer sounded, I just started crying because we had thought about this moment for the past year, for the past 2 years, for the past 3 years. And to be able to win it with all those girls around you that you've grown with and you've created this program with, just it means so much more than just a final buzzer. It's all this time put together into this one moment. It's very emotional. At the game, there was actually alums from some other national championship teams in the past, and they ran up to us after the games and they were like, "You're part of the club now. Like we can all celebrate this together," just because they were as much a part of this championship as we were. You know, they created the legacy of the program, and we committed here knowing that we were going to be buying into that legacy. When we walked in here on the first day, and we walk here for practice every day, we see these reminders of the history of the program. We see that there's all of these people, National Player of the Year. We see the national championship trophies. We walk in the room and we see a museum of Karen Shelton's victories. And I think that was the special spark that we needed, to be able to tie in the rich history of the program with what we're working for every single day.
Our team motto, our team slogan was "with each other, for each other." And that's what we did all season. It was us. It was not the 2009 team, it was not the 2010 team. Those demons were not us at all. Brand new team, with each other, for each other. Oh, it gives me goosebumps to think about.
Looking at the statistics, that we scored that many goals and that we only allowed 16 goals shows how, I think, great the depth of our team was this season. Because if you look at who scored the goals, I think obviously Erin Madsen is all the way up there because she's crushing it, but there are a bunch of people that scored.
When we get a lead, we play all our kids. We reward the kids that aren't the starters or aren't in the normal rotation. So the fact that we were able to keep those numbers down reflects the strength of the entire team, not just the starting lineup. I will say, and I loved all of our championship teams. They are like your children. It's hard to compare. But this was probably the easiest coaching job we've ever had. In terms of the team dynamics, the lack of drama on the team. I might have yelled at them 5 times.
I'm from Chapel Hill, local girl. Grew up coming to Henry Stadium, watching the UNC field hockey games. I came in, there was not a whole lot of expectations. I think having that background, really working for my position and my spot, brought about a whole new excitement for me, just because it wasn't, not to say that anyone else, it was handed to anyone else, but for me, I had earned it. I had earned this national championship, starting from kind of the bottom of the barrel and working my way up.
Winning a national championship. I'm just so proud for the University of North Carolina. That's what's always driven me, to try and bring distinction to Carolina somehow. We all know that's not easy to do with this great university. And so to have our teams be not only dominant this year and to win it in undefeated fashion, the 3rd time in our history. So, they're students, athletes, beautiful, strong, powerful women. I tell them that all the time. And they made it happen. So pure joy is all I can say. That's what it felt like, pure joy.
It's my favorite thing in the world right there. No, that's what we did. We did that.
After we were recognized at the gymnastics meet,
Me and Renee, another freshman, were in charge of getting her back here, and we actually named her Mary. It's Mary. And
Why Mary?
because we beat Maryland.
You guys are national daggum champions. How does that sound?
There's no words for it.
national daggum champions. Because it's great because now I can say it because I actually am. When I remember we did that when the basketball team won, we saying we are national champions. The university is, but like me personally, like I wasn't. Now I can say it.
National daggum champions. Oh my God, that's unreal. I love it. The University of National Champions.
At the University of North Carolina, UNC stands for the University of National Champions.